Have you ever wondered how websites work? The internet is a vast network of computers all sharing information. When you visit a website, your computer is actually downloading files from another computer far away. These files tell your web browser, like Chrome or Firefox, how to display the website on your screen. It's like a recipe that tells the browser what ingredients to use and how to put them together. This magical recipe is written in a language called HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Don't let the fancy name scare you. It's simpler than it sounds. Think of HTML as the building blocks of the web. Just like Lego bricks can be assembled to create different structures, HTML elements are used to create the different parts of a web page. Without HTML, there would be no websites, no online games, and no cat videos. Every single page you visit on the internet is built with HTML. Learning even a little HTML can open up a whole new world of possibilities. You could create your own website, customize your social media profiles, or even build your own web applications. In this exciting journey, we'll unravel the mysteries of HTML. We'll start with the basics and gradually build up your knowledge, brick by brick. By the end of this adventure, you'll be able to create your own simple web pages and understand the language of the internet. So, are you ready to dive in and explore the world of HTML? HTML is a markup language. This means it uses special codes called tags to tell the web browser how to display content. These tags are like instructions that the browser reads and follows. For example, the tag tells the browser to display the text as a heading, while the tag tells it to display the text as a paragraph. HTML documents are plain text files, which means they can be created and edited with any text editor. You don't need any fancy software to write HTML. Even a simple Notepad application will do. The important thing is to save your HTML files with the .html extension. This tells the computer that the file contains HTML code. HTML is the foundation of every web page. It provides the structure and content, while other technologies like CSS and JavaScript can be used to enhance its appearance and functionality. CSS is used to style the HTML elements, adding colors, fonts, and layouts. JavaScript, on the other hand, is used to make web pages interactive, adding animations, handling user input, and much more. Learning HTML is like learning the alphabet of the web. Once you understand the basics, you can start creating your own content and sharing it with the world. It's a powerful tool that allows you to express your creativity and build your own presence online. So let's roll up our sleeves and start building. Before we can start writing HTML, we need a place to do it. Don't worry, you don't need a fancy studio or expensive equipment. All you need is a text editor and a web browser. A text editor is a program that allows you to write and edit plain text files. Some popular choices include Notepad Windows, TextEdit Mac, Atom, Sublime Text, and Visual Studio Code. Once you've chosen your weapon of choice, you're ready to start coding. Open your text editor and create a new file. You can name it anything you like, but make sure to save it with the HTML extension. For example, you can save it as index.html. Now let's write our first line of HTML code. Type the following into your text editor. Congratulations, you've just written your first line of HTML. This line of code tells the browser which version of HTML we're using. In this case, we're using HTML5, the latest and greatest version of HTML. Now save your file and let's move on to the next step. Every HTML document follows a basic structure. It's like the skeleton of our web page, providing the basic framework upon which we'll build the rest of our content. This structure consists of two main parts, the head and the body. The head contains information about the HTML document, such as the title of the page, links to external resources like CSS files and other metadata. It's like the control center of our web page, providing instructions to the browser. The body, on the other hand, contains the actual content of the web page, the stuff that users will see and interact with. This includes text, images, links, and everything else that makes up the visible part of our web page. Let's add the head and body sections to our HTML document. In your text editor, add the following code below the declaration. In this code, we've added the opening and closing tags, which enclose the entire HTML document. Inside the tags, we have the section, where we've set the title of our web page to my first web page using the tag. Finally, we have the section, which is currently empty. We'll add content to it in the next step. Section 5. Adding content, text, and headings. Now that we have the basic structure of our web page in place, it's time to add some content. Let's start with the most fundamental element of any web page text. In HTML, text is added using the tag, which stands for paragraph. Any text placed between the opening tag and the closing tag will be treated as a separate paragraph. For example, to add a paragraph of text to our web page, we would use the following code. HTML. Section 6. Links and images. Connecting and displaying. Links are what make the web so powerful, allowing us to jump from one web page to another with a single click. In HTML, links are created using the tag, which stands for anchor. The tag requires one important attribute, which stands for hypertext reference. The attribute tells the browser where to go when the link is clicked. For example, to create a link to Google, we would use the following code. Go to Google Images are another essential part of most web pages. In HTML, images are added using the tag. The tag is a self-closing tag, meaning it doesn't have a closing tag. It requires two important attributes, and the attribute specifies the source of the image, which can be a URL or a file path. The attribute provides alternative text for the image, which is displayed if the image cannot be loaded or if the user is using a screen reader. To add an image to our web page, we would use the following code. In this code, replace with the actual path to your image file. Make sure to use descriptive alt text that accurately describes the image. Section 7. Lists and tables. Organizing information. Lists are a great way to organize information on our web pages. HTML provides two types of lists, unordered lists and ordered lists. Unordered lists are used for items that don't need to be in a specific order, while ordered lists are used for items that have a specific sequence. Unordered lists are created using the tag, while ordered lists are created using the tag. Each item in the list is defined using the tag, which stands for list item. Here's an example of an unordered list, and here's an example of an ordered list. Tables are used to display data in rows and columns. In HTML, tables are created using the tag. Each row in the table is defined using the tag, which stands for table row. Each cell in the row is defined using either the tag for header cells or the tag for data cells. Here's an example of a simple table. This code will create a simple table with 2 columns, name and age, and 3 rows, including the header row. You can add more rows and columns to your table as needed. Section 8. A touch of style inline CSS. While HTML provides the structure and content of our web pages, CSS, cascading style sheets, is used to style the HTML elements, adding colors, fonts, and layouts. CSS allows us to separate the presentation of our web page from its content, making it easier to maintain and update our designs. There are 3 ways to add CSS to our HTML documents: inline, internal, and external. Inline CSS is used to apply styles to a specific HTML element, while internal CSS is used to apply styles to the entire HTML document. External CSS, on the other hand, is used to apply styles to multiple HTML documents. For now, let's focus on inline CSS. Inline CSS is added using the attribute within the HTML tag. The attribute can contain one or more CSS properties and their values. For example, to change the color of our text to blue, we would use the following code. This text is blue. To change the font size of our heading to 24 pixels, we would use the following code. You can apply multiple CSS properties to the same HTML element by separating them with semicolons. For example, to make our text blue and bold, we would use the following code. This text is blue and bold. Section 9, your first web page challenge. Congratulations on making it this far. You've learned the basics of HTML and are well on your way to becoming a web developer. Now it's time to put your newfound knowledge to the test with a challenge. For this challenge, you will create a simple web page about your favorite hobby. Your web page should include the following elements: a title that describes your hobby, a heading that displays the name of your hobby, a paragraph or 2 describing your hobby, an unordered or ordered list of things you need for your hobby, an image related to your hobby, you can find one online, and a link to a website about your hobby. Feel free to be creative and experiment with different HTML tags and CSS properties. You can use the examples in the previous sections as a starting point. Remember, the best way to learn is by doing. Once you've completed your web page, save the HTML file and open it in your web browser. Admire your handiwork and show it off to your friends and family. You've just taken your first step into the exciting world of web development.